If you've recently purchased a Nintendo Switch 2, you may have noticed that the battery indicator runs down very quickly, and then when it gets to a low percentage, hovers around that for a long time before the battery finally expires. If this is an issue you've faced, then you're not alone. Nintendo have now acknowledged this issue, along with a potential fix that should get you back up to running without too much effort. Now, before I get to the fix, I want to clarify that this problem is to do with the software and how the battery level is being reported, not an issue with the actual battery itself. So that's good news. So there are two methods that might fix this issue for you. I'm going to recommend trying this first method to begin with, as it is the quickest. So first things first, we need to power down our Switch 2 console. So don't just tap the power button up here, as it will likely just enter sleep mode. Instead, hold it down, and then after a few seconds, you should get the power menu. Scroll down to the second option, power options, and then choose power off. And it's best to just wait a few seconds here. So what we're going to do now the console switched off is, with a couple of fingers, we're going to push in both of the volume buttons up and down. Okay, and they are quite close together, but make sure you get both of them. And then whilst holding them, turn the console back on. When you see the Nintendo logo, keep the volume up and down buttons pressed until you actually enter recovery mode. There we go. So this is recovery mode, and that's actually the fix. We don't need to select any of the options here. We only need to enter recovery mode, as by doing so, the Switch 2 will automatically reset some of the settings for us, including the battery software settings. And that should hopefully be enough to fix the issue. Now, to get back onto your normal Switch screen, just tap the power button up here. Don't need to hold it down, just a tap. So we'll just push the button again. And we should get a notification of some kind that recovery mode has reset a few settings here. Well, we don't get a notification, but we can see it's pairing all the hardware back up with the Joy-Cons. So that's absolutely fine. We know that's worked. And just go and see now how the battery performs. If it works better, great, you're done. You don't need to make any other changes. But if it still is giving you some jip, then there is a second option you can use, a second method that might solve the issue. The Switch 2 is back set up in the dock behind me. The second method is to allow the battery to run out before charging it back up to full. Now this, as you can imagine, is a little more time consuming, and it means you're going to need to use your Switch 2 for a good while without it being connected to the dock. Now, before you do this, it's important you disable, at least temporarily as you work through this, the auto sleep options. Okay, you need your console to remain active in order for the battery to drain. So from the main menu here, or the main home screen, we're going to head over to System Settings, scroll all the way down to the sleep mode options, there we go. And we need to turn off all of these options here. So this one, select to never, this one here, select to never, and then the auto sleep playing media content, turn that off. Now head over to System and make sure that stop auto charging around 90% is disabled, because we now need to plug this in to power and get the Switch 2 charged up to 100%, or at least leave it on charge for 3 hours if your battery indicator isn't correctly reporting. And then once it's done that, we need to disconnect it from power and let the console drain its own battery. You can use it if you wish, but make sure that you don't put it on charge at all. So we're now going to leave the console to drain battery. We're not going to plug it in, obviously, at this stage. We want to get the battery as low as possible. When it looks like the battery is about to die, switch the console off completely using the holding the power button down method that I just showed you. Okay, so once we've gone ahead and switched the console off, we're then going to wait another 30 minutes to 1 hour with the console out of the dock, not plugged in, just to make sure that any residual battery is drained away. Once and only once you've done this, you then want to plug the console back in, keeping it switched off, so all you will see is the battery indicator, and allow that to charge then fully to 100%. The battery indicator should be performing properly. If it isn't, run through that process another time, maybe even another 2 times. But if after 3 full discharges you are still not having any luck with the battery indicator, unfortunately that probably indicates, according to Nintendo, that it's time to start servicing the Switch itself, as you've probably got a hardware issue with the battery. So yeah, I'm afraid at that point you may have to look at RMAing the console. Hopefully though that does fix your issue, and if it does, don't forget to enable your sleep settings again so the console can start behaving normally once more, and hopefully you'll be good to go then. That should resolve the problem, but let me know if you have any other issues down in the comments. Maybe others have some tips to share too. Thanks for stopping by, checking out the video. If it's been helpful, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for future videos like this, and I'll see you soon.